Hello and welcome to Skinbag of Coffee. I'm your host, Philtron. I came across this video of a BBC interview with Richard Dawkins, and I found some of the things he's saying interesting. I have some disagreements, and we'll just watch.
Professor Dawkins, it's very good to have you join us to discuss whether it matters that Christianity is playing a diminishing role in national life. Welcome to LBC.
Thank you.
And what would be your Easter message? I've said a few things. What would you tell the nation?
Well, I must say I was slightly horrified to hear that Ramadan is being promoted instead. I do think that we are culturally a Christian country. I call myself a cultural Christian. I'm not a believer, but there's a distinction between being a believing Christian and being a cultural Christian. And so, I love hymns and Christmas carols, and I sort of feel at home in the Christian ethos. I feel that we are a Christian country in that sense. It's true that statistically, the number of people who actually believe in Christianity is going down, and I'm happy with that.
So, the reason he's happy with the belief in Christianity going down is because he's a renowned atheist. He lumps Christ in with these other cultural myths like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. And his audience considers themselves intellectually above it all. While at the same time, he's saying he enjoys the culture of Christianity in his own native country in which he grew up, was born, and came
But
to
I
be.
would not be happy if, for example, we lost all our cathedrals and our beautiful parish churches. So I count myself a cultural Christian. I think it wouldn't matter if certainly if we substituted any alternative religion, that would be truly dreadful.
Truly dreadful. Any alternative religion would be truly dreadful, is what he says. Why would it be dreadful to replace Christianity with any alternative? It's because we've seen how this plays out in cultures that aren't primarily Christian, and he doesn't want to live like that. He's kind of beating around the
Which
bush
brings
here.
me to my supplementary point, which is that, as we know, church attendance is plummeting, but the erection.
I want to say church attendance is plummeting, I think, because it has to compete with social media as a substitute. Why get dressed and go to church? Feel like you're being judged by the people there? And sit stiffly in the pew while you wait for the sermon to be over? Why do all that when you can just watch it from home on Facebook or whatever? It's no contest.
Mosques across Europe, I think 6,000 are under construction, and there are many more. Are being
6,000
planned. So, do you think
under construction mosques?
do you regard that as a problem? Do you think that matters?
Yes, I do really. I mean, I don't. I might just choose my words carefully. I mean, if I had to choose.
So he's saying he has to be careful with what he says here. Why? Why does he need to be careful with the choice of his words here? It's because he doesn't want to come off as racist. Like, there's a quote, I don't remember who said it, but it was something like, who controls you is who you're afraid to offend, something like that.
Between Christianity and Islam, I choose Christianity every single time. I mean, it seems.
So he's saying that I would choose Christianity every single time culturally. And why? Why is he saying this? It's because they're safe. Like, if you're a Western parent, and are you going to leave your kids at a mosque or at a church? Which one do you feel more comfortable leaving your kids with? I know I'm probably going to lose some friends here over this. But look at Rupert Lowe's rape gang report, in which he reports in the UK, Muslim immigrants have been known to view white Christian females as lower than dogs, which justifies all kinds of abhorrent abuse and violence against them. And yes, there are exceptions to this. There are bad Christians and there are bad Muslims, obviously. But when you've got the the atheist guy pointing toward Christianity as the preferred culture, it does cost you to ask some questions.
To me, to be a fundamentally decent religion, in a way that I think Islam is not.
I think you're going to have to explain why you say that, Professor Dawkins. Why is...
See, yes, I think you're going to have to explain yourself, Mr. Dawkins, or whatever your name is. Explain yourself. How dare you suggest that Islam is not decent? How dare you? Explain yourself, Richard Dawkins.
Islam
fundamentally. And you can see she's looking off camera here. I bet she's looking off camera at her producer, sort of like telegraphing, like acknowledging that he's gone too far with what he's saying, and she needs to lead him back and invite him to walk back his position here, which he does.
Not decent like Christianity.
Yes, I mean the way women are treated. I mean, Christianity is not great about that. It's had its problems.
Right, and here he proceeds to throw Christians under the bus and lump them in, as cued to do so by the show host. And okay, the way women are treated, Christianity is not great about that, is what he's saying. It's had its problems with female bishops, female vicars. What is he talking about here? I started to wonder. And so he doesn't refer to any Christian scripture, but he does refer to hostility promoted by the books of Islam. And so I got curious and I asked YouTube's AI, what happened to it? Oh, here it is. Okay. So I asked YouTube's AI. It's had problems with female bishops and female victors. What is he talking about here? So here he doesn't refer to any Christian scripture, but he does refer to the hostility promoted in the books of Islam. What are these Islamic scriptures to which he's referring? And the AI said, I can't help with that. Try asking something else about this video. Okay. I'm not surprised by that. And I went on to ask it, okay, how has Christianity not been great about how women are treated? And it gave me this whole essay on how Christianity is hostile toward women, with this really well laid out critique. Okay? And so I asked the same thing about Islam, and it deferred to Dawkins. I said, okay, so, and how has Islam not been great about how women are treated? And it said, according to Richard Dawkins in the video, Islam is viewed as having an active hostility towards women. So he's saying, this is saying it's referring to what Richard Dawkins is saying in the video when I asked a perfectly fair question of both sides. And so what we found here is that there's very clearly a bias. But Dawkins threw Christians under the bus, conceding to the media that if you're going to point out the malice in one group, you have to do it to all groups. But we're talking about two different religions here. Look at Christianity. If you look to scripture of what the New Testament says about how to treat women, the Apostle Paul says, husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the church. I'm just saying, if you're a man and you have hostility in your heart toward women, or women in general, and you look to what Jesus actually said about this, you're not going to find justification for your hostility. Instead, you'll find that he summed up all the law and prophets by saying, love God and love one another as yourself. I'd also like to point out that Jesus also said, you will be hated by all for my name's sake, and that it will be because they do not know him who sent me. See, you can get mired in scripture and law and all this academic complexity of the Bible, but Jesus lays it out very simply. And what we have here with YouTube's AI, this clear bias, is real world proof of what Jesus prophesied. What do you think? I would encourage you to give me your opinion. Let's talk about this. I hope you're doing well. Remember that you are loved, and I will talk to you later.